Good morning, squad. How are we? It's me, Calvin K from Kwak Talks, and you are watching Kwak TV because why watch crap TV where you can watch Kwak TV with me, your host, Calvin K. If you didn't know that, where have you been hiding and why have you not been watching my show? Honestly, what you're playing at? How are we? It is Tuesday. It is Tuesday, people. And you know what? Another week, 2 days in already, and I don't even know what happened to Monday. I swear that's a program. What happened to Monday? How are we? If you are watching, make sure you say good morning. Tell me who you are. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me what you're drinking. Say hello in the comments just so I can harass you and bring your name up on screen. And you never know, I might, Gary Jones off the mark. There we go. Hey, folks, that's what we like in pure Gary style. Gary from the Grow podcast. All about talking, growing your business and growing your everything else to do with it. So, I'm good today. I'm looking forward to today's guest because we actually lost touch a little bit. Just a smidge. Just a little smidge with good old Rona sliding into the DMs. So I'm really looking forward to them coming on today. But before we do that, we're now doing my normal spiel. But how are we doing? We were just briefly talking about backstage about them juggling their business and homeschooling and everything else. And, you know, I touched on this yesterday. I'm not having to homeschool. I wonder why. I'm surprised I'm not getting homeschooled myself. So it's really interesting for me to speak to other people when they mention it. And this person, I asked them, are they busy? And they went, not busy, but I'm keeping myself busy. And that's the difference, I'm making sure I can juggle everything and keeping myself busy with everything that's going on. Because, there are kids that got to get educated. And my Christ, this person's got to do it. Anyway, so as we know on Kwak TV, every morning I talk about the different days of the year, any hashtags, weird and wonderful news, if there's any weird and wonderful, and other trending topics. So today, your date of the year that you can use on all your social media and do with whatever you will. It is Popcorn Day, people. It is Popcorn Day. That's the day of the year. It's Popcorn Day. Do with that as you will. It is also, this one's a bit crap. It's also Tin Can Day. And I don't know what Tin Can Day is. I think that's all about recycling it. Good morning, Mr. Dominic Fenton, the Activity Connector. How are you today, kind sir? How are you today? So, yes, today is Popcorn Day and it is Tin Can Day. Remember, it is also Family Meditation Week. And like I said yesterday, I could not meditate with my family because probably end up bottling each other. Your trending hashtags for today, according to Twitter, are Tuesday motivations, not hashtag Tuesday motivation, motivations. Hashtag Tuesday vibes. What else have we got? We have also got hashtag Tuesday thoughts. And hashtags Tuesday, just hashtags Tuesday. Yeah, so there we go. Hashtags Tuesday motivations, hashtag Tuesday vibes, hashtag Tuesday thoughts, and hashtag Tuesday. Because guess what day of the week it is? If I hadn't said it enough, it's Tuesday. It really, really is. And I've got a busy week. You know what's really, really cool? When you have waited so long for something to happen, like you're waiting for someone to get back to you on that contract, or you're waiting for something else to get back to you. And you just kind of sat there twiddling your thumbs a bit. And you're like, for fuck's sake, woman. Like, just give me it. Just give me it. And it was a woman, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just putting that out there. And I was like, just give me what I need. And I finally got it. And now I can quack on with everything else that I was doing. Yes, the person backstage with what they do is laughing, and I'm hoping I know why. So, today's guest, drum roll, is, first of all, we're hoping our internet isn't going to fail because we're both in Hull and the internet shit. So it's really exciting. So this guest I met at a networking meeting. They are very, very high energy and we really hit it off from the start. And I absolutely adore them. And I really do challenge anyone watching this, either live or on replay. Remember, hashtag replay. And it's so important to think about them contacts you had pre-COVID, maybe you had at the beginning of COVID, that you just haven't touched base with. And actually, when I messaged Kate, who is today's guest, it actually reminded me to reach out to a couple of other people. And some of them people actually, one of them was a lady called Anne-Marie Foster, who was part of East Yorkshire Food Bank. She's not part of that anymore. She actually chose to retire. She's of the older society, so she chose to retire, and that was just really nice to briefly touch base with her and just make sure she's okay. So anyone that you have lost contact with from old face-to-face meetings or people you used to talk to, make sure you message them, because like this person today, they went to me, what are you doing now? Because you have just gone, and it's like, Yeah, because we haven't spoken, so you don't know what's gone on with me. So it's really, really important. However, I digress. So, with no further ado, I think that's the right word. We'll go with that. Good morning, Kate.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well, my love. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you.
I'm good. I'm hoping our internet can hold up. I'm hoping the internet can hold up. You know, it's
I'm not actually in Hull. I'm in a village, and we sort of have tin cans and things like that. So, yeah, I'm hoping it comes up. But if not, I'll wave lots.
Yeah. If it doesn't, I'll just get you back on. But screw it, we're professionals, darling. We'll plough through.
Absolutely.
So, Kate, just in case people don't know, who are you and what do you do?
My name is Katy Tyson, and I am a marketing mentor, but I focus mostly on brand and getting your business brand, your personal brand, all that foundation in place so that you can create an amazing business and get out there and get visible.
Love it. Love it. And, you know, I love your name. I remember when, I think when I met you, was because you told me your business name, Snowball Communications. I was like, oh, have you heard of these indoor snowballs? And oh, that was so. I've not even plugged that. I've not even messaged her about that. That was so on point. But yes, indoor snowballs. And you went, I did not know you could get these.
Nope.
Like, look,
I found them in the pound shop. I was like, oh, I'm getting these.
Love it. Absolutely love it. And that is one of the first things I ever said to you when we had a one-to-one was like, Snowball Communications, you need indoor snowballs. And you was like, oh my God. I was like, even crunching your hand and stuff. And just for people watching, if you don't know about these at Christmas, you can get these for Christmas for indoor snowballs and have snowball fights without breaking everything. And they're really cool.
Yeah, I did have another packet, but my children managed to absolutely disintegrate them, which was great. But, you know, they had fun. So that's the important thing.
Good.
Using my business props.
Let's try and not mention heavily the C word. That is, that's why I say Rona. Don't you know what? Wait 10 years and people's kids named Rona at school. Just wait 10 years.
Yeah. There's already kids called COVID. There was a pair of twins in India called COVID and I think it was COVID and Corona.
Oh, Christ. So, how was last year for you? How was it?
Well, last year was my first year in business. So I started a year ago. Tomorrow is my sort of first official. Well, that's when my website got set up. So I'm going to take that as my date.
Yep.
And yeah, it was busy. It was really good. I was getting out there, going to lots of networking meeting, making loads of contacts like you. And then I'm just trying to get them in the middle of here. As I was setting up, the world kind of broke down really. So I had a bit of time out, shall we say, a bit of time to get my ducks in a row and to really think about what I wanted to do. Because I set off as just wanting to be hands-on marketing, helping people to do pretty much what I'd always done. Because I've got like 20 years of marketing communications. I've done PR, internal comms. I know I don't look that old, do I? So PR, internal comms, I've done marketing campaigns, digital campaigns. I used to send out press releases by fax machine. That's how old I am. But I thought I'd just carry on. Don't pull that face. I thought I'd just carry on doing all that kind of stuff. But the C word was actually quite a gift for me because it gave me time to step back and think, is that actually what you want to continue doing? And it's not.
It's really important, you know, it allowed people to throw the question in the air of what does this make possible? You know, what does this make possible? And I had a client that was having a bit of a meltdown the other week. Oh, this isn't working, that ain't working. I went, what does it make possible? What can we do then instead now to look at? Oh, I'm like, get some big marker pens, get a big bit of paper, and start scribbling. And it's like, I'm like, start scribbling. You'll come up with business plans to meet. Unpopular opinion of a business coach. Literally, just went out the window because in the words of Mr. Brad Burton, the famous potato himself, did anyone plan for a global pandemic? No.
It was quite a flexible thing. So I think it's good to have, it's good to have them as goals. It's good to have an idea of the direction that you want to travel in. And like we were talking before about values, if you've got your values and you know the area that you want to work in, you will set those goals and you will you'll travel in that direction, but you have to be flexible. You have to roll with the punches, because this year and last year have punched us hard. So it's a case of just going with it. But as long as you have those solid foundations in place of knowing who you are, what you do, you can ride it. You can really ride it.
Yeah. And this is what it is for everyone. I'm lucky. I've done well through COVID. I am lucky. But I'm saying to everyone, look, if you are struggling, please don't think that you can't ask for help without me whacking an invoice on you. Like that's not what I'm about. And people go, oh right. And like a lot of other business coaches are, they're like, you want help? You pay me some fucking money. I'm like, look, we are human. Everyone needs help. And I wouldn't have got to where I am now without asking for help when I first started. And that's the important part. I would not be where I am now without the help that I got. And that's why it's so important to give people that help. It's you've got to do it. So it's I'm glad that you've good old Rona kind of give everyone a bit of a paradigm shift. Oh, that's a good word for me. Bit of paradigm. That's a good word.
I prefer that to a new normal, because if I hear that one more time, or unprecedented, I think I might scream. It's those words that really are starting to grate a little bit.
Turn your piss into battery acid.
It's interesting what you're saying about free advice, because you've got this group, you're building a community of people that they can ask for advice, and you've got the mentoring scheme set up. Exactly. Nice. Yeah, that. But I've done a similar thing, but focused specifically on brand. So I've got my own free group, and that is a place where people can ask for advice, and not just from me, but like from your duck pond. People ask for advice from each other. It's building communities, and communities are the only way we're going to get through coronavirus in one piece. Asking for help, that skill swap, that trade, that kind of thing going forward.
Exactly that. So just, you can do a very, very shameless plug. What is your Facebook group called?
My Facebook group is called the Brand Story Project. So it is basically aimed at helping you build those brand foundations, find your brand story, find your values, and use them to create content that actually connects with your audience.
Yeah, and do you know what? Brand is so important to me, and in particular with MLMs or network marketers, or potentially, I'm going to use the phrase subcontractors, even though they're not. I'm just going to use that to kind of put everyone under one umbrella, for places such as that sell insurance, wealth management, things like that. And when I've said this to people, they go, what do you mean? I'm representing, for example, I don't know, St. James's Place. I'm representing St. James's Place. And I go, but you're not St. James's Place. You are you. And they go, and I'm like, you can wave the flag behind you, hun. You can wave the flag behind you, but I don't want you to be waving the flag yourself. I buy from people. I invest in people. And you just waving that flag at the front, that's not personal. It's called a personal brand.
I've had so many people who do Arbonne or Ann Summers or all those kind of things saying, Mom, I've got my branding. Yeah, but branding is not just a logo. Branding is not just a color scheme. Branding is your personality. Branding is your target audience, because there'll be some people who are targeting mums, busy mums who just need an energy high. But there'll be some people who are targeting, working for the same company, but targeting a completely different audience. So you need to know who your target audience is. You need to know who your personality is. You need to know what your promise is. What are you telling people you're going to deliver every single time? And that's personal to you. What's your purpose? Why are you doing this? Some people are doing it for pin money. Some people are doing this to build an empire. Some people are doing it to build up experience. There's all these different motivations, and you shouldn't be afraid of sharing that and sharing you. I mean, there's a word of caution, you don't share all of you online, probably. There's got to be a barrier, and you've got to keep some energy for yourself. But you are your business when you're working on your own. Get out there. Be consistent with it. Be consistently, if you are, or, quiet and reserved, like me. So.
I thought, it's, honey, no, it's so important. And you know, the amount of people I've actually said this to, and one of them actually, obviously not going to drop any names, I met a little while ago and I was talking to them about it. And she does wills, income protection, life insurance for a completely different company. You know, she's not an MLM or network marketer. She is what I like said, a subcontractor. And she was making a brochure and she was like, but I don't really know what to put in it, but it's what I want to give out people. And I went, first of all, don't put your company's branding in it. She went, okay, why? And I went, because you're selling it. It's your brochure. Said, if you're going to put your company's branding anywhere, you put it on the back page and under the word working with. She went, oh, right, okay. And she was like, well, what about pictures? Am I using stock photos? I went, are stock photos personal? No. Do you have some professional photos of yourself? Yes. Use them. Use that, you know. And I was like, in your introduction, you write it. You know, copywriters are great, absolutely awesome, but do a bit of creative writing. Write it as if people are reading it on how you are saying it with your picture there. And they're like, oh, right, okay. And I'm like, honestly, make this brochure personal to you. You can give them all the bump from, you know, the business representing underneath it, but put yours on top because that is you and that is who they are buying from. Put a story in there about how you got into it, why it's personal to you. And with that, she's like, yeah, okay, right. She sent me the PDF version, absolutely top notch. Absolutely top notch. She did every single thing and more that I recommended, and she went completely see what you mean. I was like, because it's you, you know, and they were very, shall we say, professional, very suit blazer, you know, just smart trousers. And that brochure represents that because that is who you are. That is right. I said, you know, you don't have to digress from that. But the point is, you need to make it you. And it's so important.
Absolutely. And the thing is, your personality is not going to change because you open a business. You're going to have similar traits. You might not express every single part of it.
Yeah.
But, you know, you are who you are. If the professional you, for example, is that button down thing, yeah, you're right. You have to express it. But if the professional you is still you, the way you are. I mean, I've had someone insinuate, not in exactly these words, but insinuate, oh, you're so friendly. That means you're not very professional. They're equating that old-fashioned view of, unless you are that corporate style of person, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And that couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, I'm going to blow my own trumpet here, but I know what I'm talking about. I've got 20 years of experience. You know, I've worked for big brands, I've worked for small brands. I know what I'm talking about. I understand how to run a marketing campaign. But this person was so entrenched in that view of, you're too friendly, you're too informal, you don't know what you're talking about. But this is me. This is my personality. I am friendly. I am open. I am an open book. And that is what people expect from me. And the thing about this is, if people don't like it, they're not your ideal client. They're not the person that you want to do. Trash takes itself to the door. They're leaving the way open for your ideal client to come in. You've got to think about, you know, there's only so much energy in the world. Don't waste it on people that don't give a monkeys.
Exactly. Absolutely. Could not have said it better myself. You know, I get it all the time. I swear like a trooper, right? I do. You know, that what bugs me is that phrase of people who swear a lot don't have an extended vocabulary or anything like that. Right. First of all, fuck off. Secondly, you know, I swear a lot. It's how I express, you know, whether it's positive, negative, or it's just how I speak. It's how I expressively speak. And I get it a lot. And especially at networking meetings. And if you get a visitor or someone very, shall we say, traditional, you know, we'll use the word traditional because that's not a negative thing. To be traditional is not a bad thing. And
who they are.
Yeah, it's who they are. And it's the concept that you prefer. But for me, I do like a traditional format. I do. You know, I can fit into a traditional format, but that does not mean that I'm not going to be me. You know, I can fit in one. And I can slip on the suit. I can slip on the suit. I can put a blazer on. I can do the whole shebang. But I'm still going to be me. I'm still going to say I'm the unconventional business coach. I put a foot up your ass. You know, because why wouldn't I? That's my business. That's my brand.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the biggest struggle that I get with people saying that to you is like, oh, you're aging. You're a business coach. And I'll say to them, firstly, different ways to look at that. That's the way they see. They're not a client for me, right? They're not. Secondly, I say spend an hour with me because I want them to do that because then we can brainstorm, pull a few different ideas because they might not be the client for me, but they might have connections that are. And I don't want to cut my nose or spite my face. I'm like, spend an hour with me. Let's see if you can get a taste of why I'm a business coach. And then we'll go away. You probably still don't want to work with you. Because the biggest thing for me is I say no to people. No, I don't want to work with you. And they go, oh, why? And I'm like, look, I can tell you're not dedicated to what we're going to say. And therefore, you're wasting my time. And therefore, you are wasting your money.
Exactly. You gel with people. You gel with some people, you don't gel with others. But it's like, as part of my empowering people to be more visible, we work on LinkedIn. If that's their platform, if that's where their target audience is. And people are always like, oh, I don't know if I should link with that person. I'm like, you have fairly unlimited connections. Link with them because you don't know if they like one of your posts. You don't know who else is going to see it. It's that broader network. You don't look at this tiny little circle. You have to look at the wider. It's like with your Facebook ads targeting. You target your absolute target audience, but then you think about the demographic around the outside of that and target, widen it out a bit.
Have you ever been on a mystery coach trip? Have you heard of them?
No, but I'm now both curious and slightly terrified.
So,
please explain.
Mystery coachship, and normally, bear with me, right? There's a concept to this, and I promise I'll get there. I think I thought of something. You've booked a trip, and you know you're going on a trip, but the scary part is you don't know where you're going to end up. And that's exactly what doing this is. The journey is the coach journey. You know you're on a journey, but you don't know where you're going, and you're kind of like, shit. And you're either going to end up at Legoland, right? Disney World, or a village, right? You're going to end up at a few different locations. It's up to you when on that journey and getting to that final destination, what you then do with it. And that's exactly what you're saying. It's when you're talking and connecting to people, and then they like that one post. Because as we know on LinkedIn, if you didn't know, someone likes your post, it comes up on their friends, on their connections feeds. Callum liked Katie's post. And then you go, oh, I don't know, Katie. And then it's like, connect. And then all Katie has to do is promote one or two things. And then it's like, shit, wait, is this called networking? It's like, yes, it is, people. Yes, it is.
It's like opportunities don't just come. Well, they do sometimes, but you make them, you find them, you see them, and you take them. When they're there, take them. If somebody, there are certain people that I don't link with. Like I had a dentist from Oklahoma in his mid-50s, who I don't think was there for business networking. So I didn't connect with him. So use your common sense, but if there are people who are not in your target audience, but they press to connect with you, you don't know. Your target audience is a bit like buying a car. Another analogy here. You might think that you want that red Mini, but you go and get in that Mini and you drive it and you go, this is actually a bit shit. But you don't know until you've driven it. You don't know who your target audience is until you've worked with different types of people to find out who it is that you want to work with, who is your absolute target audience. So these people might not be who you envisage your target audience to be, but that's not to say that you wouldn't enjoy working with them or you're not going to create something amazing with them and empower them to do amazing things and get brilliant case studies and testimonials out of them.
Exactly. And do you know what? We ended up going straight into our topic for today, which was talking about branding, and personal branding and things like that. And because normally I go to people, what is our topic for today? We just went straight fucking into it because it's something we're so passionate about. And for me, that also matters. That matters in every aspect of your life. It's you're not going to do something you're not fucking liking or passionate about, and especially if it comes to being self-employed or your own business. And once again, I get excited for the day after. My partner's like, mate, you are so sad. At the same time, it's so lovely to see. Sunday night, I was like, oh, I can't wait for tomorrow. I can play about my new website. That's a plug. Go check my website, people. I can play about my new website. I'm excited. Got great guests on this week. I had Steve yesterday. I've got you today. I've got Sass tomorrow. I've got Steven on Thursday that no fucker knows. I know him because me and him started on a very, very similar situation. He's built his brand And he's the same as me, where he's gone from being a market stall owner to now having a nationwide business. And it's like, shit. And here, tell you what, I'm going to plug Stephen early. He's called the Free From Baker because everything he makes is gluten-free. Fair enough, his brand is not Stephen Harrison. But the reason he started his business and got the name is because he's gluten intolerant and he likes baking. He likes cake. And he was like, I want to do something with this. And he created the Free From Baker. And it's absolutely, she's like, I'm so following him.
I get it now.
Honestly, Stephen, early plug. And he's on Thursday and he messaged me, he was like, what do we talk about? Because as we know, I ask all the guests to come up with a topic of conversation, which is great because they can use it for whatever they want, which is once again great for brands. What is your brand? Can we talk about your brand? Dom Fenton, who we had on earlier, actually, this guy, the activity connector. He is at, oh, sorry, first of all, good morning, Kirsty. I haven't ignored your message. Mr. Dom Fenton, now his new brand is called the Activity Connector because all of his different businesses are activities, but he came up with the connector part because I nicknamed him the Fenton Bridge because his business model is he's a bridge. There's connections at either end and he connects people. And he went, that's where I got the connector part because that is exactly what I do. And I went, exactly. And it's so powerful. A lot of people say, oh yeah, I get it. But they don't. It's just so powerful.
Yeah, and it's so much more than a logo. It's so much more. People will jump immediately to an identity, to their identity. So they'll do the logo and their color scheme and the fonts and all that kind of pretty stuff, but without getting that foundation underneath. And there's a whole psychology behind colors. I mean, blue is quite corporate. You know, yellow is exciting. Well, yellow and orange is quite over the top, exciting, creative. But unless you know what your values are, you might pick completely the wrong color. So you have to go back and do it again. So you need to get that shit in place first before you can go on and do the fun and exciting, pretty stuff like that.
Exactly. And someone said to me yesterday, actually, I was having a one-to-one, not a client, just a one-to-one after a networking meeting, following up, just in case Caroline's watching, you know, doing the really good thing she promotes. And she was talking about just a little side thing she wants to do. And then we was talking about branding. And I went, you don't even know how to do the other stuff first. Said, so let's talk about that. Then I'll talk to you about your branding. And I went, what colours are you wanting? And she went, well, I'm wanting these. I went, you do know that I don't mean the right, don't you? And with that, she went, oh, I went, just because you like them colours, my love, does not mean they are right. And with that, she's like, oh, well, okay, I went, done. It does not mean they are right for what you are wanting to do. And I'll be really honest, they're not. They're not the right colours. And don't get me wrong, with everything that I've done, sorry, I thought I had delivery man then. Everything that I do, I picked up quite a lot of skills along the way. And one of them is this, because I've talked to different branding guys with connecting people, and I spoke to them on behalf of clients, you know, graphic designers, printers. I've even spoke to printers and gone, can I ask? You see a lot of stuff that comes through your printers. What do you think to that before you print it? And they've even gone, we've seen better. And I'm like, right, perfect. Yeah, cancel that. I'll send you something else. And I cancel it. And then they get it and they go, oh, just to let you know, that was a lot better quality, what you sent. And I'm like, perfect. Don't be afraid to ask. You know, you're giving people money. They don't want you to stick it on, tag them, and it'd be absolutely shit, do they? Like, they don't. Ask.
Well, this is the thing, you know, with there's so many amazing tools like Canva and all the design tools that are there. But not everyone can graphic design. Not everyone can create a logo. And you can think about what color schemes you want, but it's always good to get advice. You know, if you can afford to get a graphic designer, and don't go to Fiverr, please don't go to Fiverr.
Please don't go to, let's just stop the press. Fuck Fiverr. Don't go.
Race to the bottom. So, you know, you want a professional who can help you on this. But if you can't afford it, just, you know, you're following up with your connections, you're digging out one-to-one. You go on Google, for God's sake, and Google color psychology and find out a bit more about it. You know, there are so many, the world is at your fingertips. Just make those connections, get out there, do your own research, and have a real good think about stuff.
Do you know what? I'm going to put one last tip on that before we wrap up, which is also, and I wonder if you agree with this, look at a website called Ask the Public.
I love that website. Oh.
So, I'm so glad you agree. But no, look at a website at the same time as Ask the Public. And all you do is put your industry, your job heading, into it, and it shows you the questions people are Googling or Yahooing or whatever else you use around it. And the reason why it's important is because it's going to give you questions that people are probably going to ask you. And a lot of them questions you probably don't even know yourself, meaning you also don't know the answer. And it's really important, especially once again, thinking about brand colors and stuff. Let's logos for me, I say to a lot of people, you're not even earning any fucking money yet. Let's slow down a little bit on the logo, my love. You can have a name, we can get a brand name, first of all, we'll make sure that's right. But because once again, brand name might not be right. I got told with Kwak, someone went to me, and you actually know this person, said, "We shouldn't call yourself Kwak, that's the nickname for a dodgy doctor." And I just went, "That's nice. It also means Callum of a K." And that's what it means. And which is why I introduced myself as Callum of a K, Kwak. But as the public, I started utilizing this tool so much, even writing blogs. What questions are people wanting answering? They're there. And it's such a useful tool.
You want to create content that people actually want to know, you go on there, you create a blog around a question. It's simple. It's so simple, and it's so effective. You only get a certain number of questions per day, but other than that, it's brilliant.
Love it. Well, Kate, just as we've got to wrap up, where can people find you? LinkedIn, Facebook, the whole shebang?
LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and obviously I've got a Facebook page and a Facebook group. So my Facebook page is Snowball Communications.
And what's the Facebook group called again?
The Brand Story Project.
Honestly, jump in there, people, because even I look in there and I learn something new. Kate does cover different topics on different days on live videos and things like that. So make sure you jump in. And on the live video, she does answer questions. So if you do have questions all around brands, if you're currently building up your business and you're looking, actually, I'm going to tell Dom to go look in there because he's building up his new brand, the Activity Connector. And, he's about to start talking to designers and stuff. But once again, he won't mind me saying this, but does he know everything? Just a prime example, does he know everything about before he chooses and designs and all that? Does he know his brand properly? So make sure you go check out the Brand Story Project. Kate, it's been great to have you on, and stick around at the end because we'll have a bit of a natter. Right, I'll keep you backstage. Have a good day, and I'll speak to you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Oh, honestly, when you have that cousin, right? Everyone has that cousin in their family that have not seen for months, years, and you either see them at weddings, births, or deaths, right? Let's be honest. The birth is mine and Kate's businesses now. That is the birth, the original birth, and it's how our businesses are now. And once again, it's what we made of it. It's what we made of a shit situation. When shit hits the fan, do you put an umbrella up or do you stand there and get covered in shit? Just put an umbrella up, my love. So tomorrow we have the one and the only Sass Huntwood, who, everyone needs to be a bit more sass. That is actually a hashtag, be more sass. And that was created in Foreign. And this lady is unreal. Absolutely unreal. But other than that, I digress. We have got some other guests this week. I touched on Stephen Harrison, who is on Thursday as well. And then on Friday, you have got my sister from another mister, Miss Cara Wood. And that is going to be absolute carnage. And that is the correct word to use. It's going to be absolutely carnage. So you have been watching Kwak TV because why watch Kwak TV? Where you can watch Kwak TV. Remember, it's Tuesday. Use them hashtags. Make sure you use any social media such as it's Popcorn Day today. Do with that as you will. And if you are watching this replay, remember to click hashtag replay. And I'll see you tomorrow.